Welcome to the Zoo, a term coined by one prisoner who felt being incarcerated was like living in the Twilight Zone. The Zoo is not a place you can point to or a system you can fight. It's the result of quixotic, arbitrary moves by prison wardens and staff that inmates can rarely prove or defend themselves against. Inspired by thousands of essays and first-hand accounts, these stories reveal how surreal and daunting it can be just trying to survive in prison. Episode 3, Retaliation. Administrators encourage prisoners to file grievance forms, promising to right the wrongs and protect those who complain. But even when prisoners have proof, this evidence can be used against them.
Staff tore my pillow open on purpose while pretending to search for contraband. I filed a grievance over it, and I was instructed to turn the pillow in and told I will receive a new one. But when I turned my pillow in, I received a violation for damaging state property, and I was required to pay for it.
Often, prisoners who file grievances feel as if they are being punished for demanding their rights.
I wrote a grievance concerning the facility's enforcement of a rule that allowed them to limit property to 6 bags when they were only authorized to limit them to 8. Having filed the grievance, I was retaliated against with a beating and solitary confinement.
Retaliation takes many forms and can be very hard to prove.
In February 2016, I was placed in solitary confinement pending investigation of my complaint against an officer. I was verbally abused by staff members for filing complaints of misconduct, but that officer lost his post and was reassigned. After being released from 4 months of solitary, I was assaulted by a group of inmates. On the night of the assault, my roommate told me an officer had paid my assaulters cartons of cigarettes to retaliate on behalf of the subordinate officers. I was again placed in solitary confinement. I wrote numerous grievances complaining of the widespread violence being promoted by officials and requested protection from such violence. This request was blatantly denied. I was released back into general population in July, and get this, I was assigned back to the same housing location that the assault took place.
Prisoners are asked to speak up when they see that an officer is corrupt or a prisoner is being mistreated or abused, but then are punished for bearing witness.
I was serving time in Texas when a guard asked me if I witnessed another guard sexually assaulting a prisoner. Assuming I would be protected for my testimony, I told the guard I was indeed a witness to the sexual assault. When the accused officer filed disciplinary charges in retaliation to the witness testimony, I was put into solitary confinement for 3 years, remaining in the SHU long after the accused officer was fired. The warden promised to intervene on my behalf, but reneged after I got my hopes up. After I was released from solitary, I was summarily shipped to another prison without warning.
Being transferred without warning is a pervasive tactic used to punish prisoners. When incarcerated people are transferred, often hundreds of miles away, it can be difficult and expensive for their families to visit. Caught in a system that asks for reports of abuse, but also retaliates against those who do report abuse, prisoners can be overcome by paranoia, obsession, and fear.
The life of a prisoner?
It's not a life at all.
It is nothing short of a bleak, pitiful existence
within an inhumane, artificial environment
that is scientifically proven to degrade an individual's sense of humanity
to base levels.
Though Americans are taught that prison is both a form of punishment and of rehabilitation, living through the zoo can make rehabilitation nearly impossible. Prisoners are so consumed with daily survival, they say, that they have no time or energy to attempt the painful work of self-examination necessary to re-enter society. Our state and federal prisons spend $81 billion every year, but in their own words, prisoners describe a system that they believe sets them up for failure. Welcome to the zoo.